Good evening, fellow Amazonians, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to this very important broadcast. This is the transition fund drive, phase two, with President Sako. I think I would say this is the pre-session. And in this pre-session, we have decided to look into something very important. The United Nations had a talk in Geneva a few days ago on human rights issues, and it was captioned the UN 2159 meeting. It was the 81st session, and the colonial government was reprimanded to present a report. Just so I could give you a backdrop of some of the things that they said before we look at how they got themselves ridiculed in an attempt to lie. I'm sure some of you would have watched this, but maybe we should watch it one more time.
Muy buenas tardes.
A very fine afternoon to one and all. We will now begin our meeting 2171. I am very pleased again to receive the delegation of Cameroon, led by Ambassador Salomon Ehith. We can thus continue to consider the sixth periodic report from Cameroon in this 2161st meeting. Ambassador, you have the floor.
Muchas gracias, señor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I will continue in French, with your leave. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon to the honorable members of the committee and to all of those who are here in this room. Mr. Chairman, distinguished members of the committee, ladies and gentlemen, in this important session of the CAT, again, this is more or less the concluding session in considering the sixth periodic report of our country. So some introductory remarks here. Cameroon, as everyone knows, Cameroon is a state with rule of law. It is and I see that in all senses of the word, it is a democratic state. The head of state, Mr. Paul Biya, since ascending to the supreme magistrate of the country, has made human dignity and human rights a central pillar of his leadership. The law on liberty and freedom, voted in 1990, clearly set forth his vision for his field of action, setting his firm commitment to...
I don't have time to listen to that gibberish there. I'm coordinating the Zoom meeting for all those who are in the Zoom. So I really don't have time for us to spend in listening to that gibberish. The first few words can tell you everything or every lie that would have been spoken. And according to some of the lies, Cameroon denied everything. They didn't mention the torture. They denied responsibility. But you heard the representative of the Cameroon government there actually saying that Biya is committed to human dignity and human rights. Seriously? Okay, let's listen to another very important session that took place in Geneva and find out how true this is. This is not ABC Amba television making a propaganda. It was a discussion that took place in the same meeting. Watch.
De la torture et comment documenter efficacement la torture. Je passe maintenant aux articles 12 et 13 sur l'enquête rapide et impartiale et protection des victimes. Dans son discours d'ouverture, Monsieur l'ambassadeur a dit « Les enquêtes sont ouvertes. Les mesures disciplinaires conservatoires prononcées dans l'attente de l'issue des procédures judiciaires. Mr. President, I'll switch to English now. Let me address this matter by making reference to a few high-profile cases. First, the killing of Cameroonian radio journalist Mr. Martinez Sogo. Mr. Sogo revealed details of financial scandals implicating members of the government and allied businessmen. As I'm sure the delegation knows, in January of 2023, his body was found days after being abducted. Media reports indicate that Mr. Sogo's body was wrapped in aluminum foil and was taken by night when no one could see to a vacant lot with the aim of using acid to destroy it. These reports indicate that more than 6 months after Sogo's death, the 15 men imprisoned suspects who have been held since February are charged only with complicity in torture. The reports indicate, quote, that this smells of a fix, according to a security source. Another source, who allegedly has had access to the case file, said that this was, quote, inexplicable. People close to the case, according to media reports, are beginning to doubt the judicial investigation's sincerity, and some point to the absence of certain evidence which has disappeared or was never included in the case file. The committee has received concerning reports about journalists' lack of safety in Cameroon. Reports indicate that Paul Chuta, a reporter from Cameroon Web, was forced into a car, given a severe beating, and left for dead at the side of a road on 9 March of 2022, 2 days after he posted a photo on Facebook showing the finance minister and a prominent businessman who allegedly was involved in the killing of Martinez Sogo. In another recent case, Ramon Cota, a social media activist, was apparently kidnapped in Gabon on 17 July 2024 and forcibly extradited to Yaoundé. Mr. Cota's lawyer and international human rights organizations state that Mr. Cota was subject to torture. Mr. Cota has been living in Gabon for the past 10 years and is known for his TikTok videos in which he criticizes Cameroonian authorities. We understand that Mr. Cota is currently in a cell at the Secrétariat d'État de la Défense, a prison where those deemed to be holding state secrets and therefore are a threat to the government are held, awaiting trial. We also understand that he has been placed under a 6-month provisional detention order. Reports indicate that Mr. Cota was interrogated several times without a lawyer present, both at the Direction Générale de la Recherche Extérieure and 4 times at the Service Central de Recherche Judiciaire. According to a confidential report reported in the media, Mr. Cota suffered from early paralysis on the left side and visual disturbances as a result of torture and mistreatment during his detention. In another case, a recent case of singer Longuet Longuet, an artist who is also known for his critical views on the government, a video of Cameroonian officers torturing him emerged. In the video, Longuet Longuet's hands are cuffed behind his back. He is sitting on the floor in his underwear as the soles of his bare feet are beaten with a flat machete. He pleads for the beating to stop, but the men who appear to be security agents continue. Can the delegation please specify the status of these investigations of these different cases? In the specific case of Mr. Sogo's killing, and as noted under Article 1 of the Convention, Please provide additional information on the mitigating factors that downgrade the crime of torture to a charge of complicity in torture. Could the delegation specify the charges under which Mr. Kote is being held, particularly as he was not in Cameroon when he was arrested by authorities in Gabon? Have any investigations into ill treatment or torture being initiated? In the case of artist Longue Longue, have any investigations being initiated? As indicated in Cameroon's Human Rights Commission's website, the Commission wrote to the Minister Delegate at the Presidency of the Republic in charge of defense to ensure that the results of the investigation opened by him in the case of Longue Longue be known before 13 November of 2024, that is today. Could the delegation please share the specific findings on those responsible for the ill treatment and torture that is visible for the world to see? In light of the committee's previous concluding observations and the information provided in the State Party's periodic report, paragraphs 126 through 128, the committee remains concerned about the ambiguity of the accountability measures relating to the cases of involving Cameroon police, gendarmes, and specifically in the cases of Buba Yauba, David Edmond Gumpung Gunitiche group, and ethnic or regional origin of the victim for these cases. Please also share any individual information on the progress of these cases. This is referring to paragraphs 165 through 176 of the committee's concluding observations under the fifth periodic report. In particular, and I close with this, Mr. President, the events, and apologies for my mispronunciation, events in Ngarbu in February of 2020, events concerning the looting, burning of villages, and murders of English-speaking civilians allegedly perpetrated by the army, particularly in Babukok, Banjem, and Do in January 2020, and in the villages of Kwakwa, Dadi, Kajifu, and Bodam in December of 2017. Concerning the murder of 10 men in the village of Bole Bakundu on February 6, 2019, by soldiers of the Rapid Intervention Battalion. On the murder of 5 civilians, including a disabled person, on April 4 of 2019, in the village of Melouf by gendarmes and soldiers of the Rapid Intervention Battalion. Concerning the murder of a man and the destruction of houses in the village of Mancon on 15 May 2019, and the murder of 2 men on 10 July 2019. On the July 2018 murder of 2 women and their children accused by the Cameroonian army of being members of Boko Haram. Concerning the murder of 4 civilians and the enforced disappearance of 2 others on 26 June 2018 in the village of Muri, far north region, by armed soldiers. Concerning the murder of 2 unarmed men by soldiers of the Rapid Intervention Battalion in a Buya neighborhood known as Great Sopo on 24 September 2018. Concerning the death of 4 people in the far north region in April 2015. And the death of a man attributed to the FDS during an operation to arrest Indian hemp growers on 4 September 2017 in the village of Kifen. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I stop here my presentation.
Gracias.
Well, I'm sure you would have listened. That's just a summary. The report was about 20 minutes, but I wish we had all the time. We have been broadcasting this all through ABC Amba television for a while right now. and you would listen to the other side of it just few minutes after a Cameroonian representative will sit in the face of the world to say that the Cameroon government honors right to the people's dignity and human rights. And for over 8 minutes, the Cameroonian diplomat will lie about the actual collateral humanitarian damages by even the government. So their claim, as always, you give a dog a bad name and you want to crucify it.